Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today and welcome to this educational presentation where today I want to talk to you about two edges that will help you survive virtually any market. These are two edges that I incorporate every day into my own personal trading, and I've been actually using them for over 4 decades. Let's take a look at this older chart here. This is in KLAC for educational purposes. Now, someone looking at this chart might say to themselves, well, there's resistance here according to that $10,000 system I bought. So I'm going to wait for it to break out and give me some confirmation to the upside. But with what I'm going to be teaching you today, the first edge actually generated two signals in advance. Now, one was to the downside and the other one was to the upside. So which one should you take? Well, the second edge confirmed which signal to take. And in this case, it said to discard the sell signal and to go long. Now, this is before it broke out. This is before you had confirmation that it was going higher. But had you taken that signal, you could have potentially captured 64 points. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, these two edges that will help you survive virtually any market, regardless if it's going up or down, and regardless of what time frame as well. Now, the beauty of these two edges is that you can automatically apply them by using the PTS Primo Charting Platform. This is the platform that actually teaches you how to trade. I developed and designed this with pro trader strategies to make trading simple. So once again, welcome to this educational presentation. My name is Stephen Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. I teamed up roughly about 15 years ago with pro trader strategies with one goal, and that was simply to educate traders. So I'm happy to say we educate traders in over 115 countries and in every state in the United States. And the reason why we focus on education is because we feel that's the one thing that's really missing with most traders. I know most traders are taught, myself included, that the way to be successful, the way to achieve your goals through trading is to follow somebody who's successful, who's been trading for a long time, and then just basically do whatever they do. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. I know I did that when I first started trading. And that's why we don't have a signal service here, or we don't tell you what we think the market's going to do, because a true educator really teaches you how to identify those things on your own. It's been my experience in over 46 years of trading that the only traders that really are consistent, the ones that are still around, are the ones that make their own trading decisions. And the only way you can do that is through sound fundamental education. So that's our purpose. That's our goal, simply to teach you things that have stood the test of time. And you'll see that in today's educational presentation. Now, before we begin, as always, please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using these two edges, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. Also, please remember that since we are first and foremost an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, there's a lot of new names in today's class I can see here on the list. So if you haven't done so already, please follow us on Twitter or on X, whichever you prefer, whichever title you prefer. I post different information on a daily basis. I've got a lot of feedback lately on a lot of the postings, how correct they've been and how they've helped them. So there's lots of great free information on a daily basis. Please feel free to follow us on Twitter or on X, whichever you prefer. Now, remember, we are, as I stated moments ago, an educational company. So what is the difference between that and other webinars you've attended? Well, my goal as an educator is not to force feed you signals or tell you what the market's going to do or tell you what stock to buy or tell you what the perfect time frame is. Those are all things you have to decide. You're in charge of your own trading. Okay, my goal is simply to teach you how to trade with the specialist edge. This is the same edge that I've been using, that was taught to me over 4 decades ago, and what has sustained me. And hopefully I'll be able to instill that in you and sustain you for 4 decades of trading. Okay. Now, once again, just a few announcements. If you do have a question, we have a good crowd here today, but if you do have a question, please wait till the end of class to ask questions. I have, I think, about 150 slides here today, so I don't want to stop for every slide to answer a question, but I promise I'll get to them at the very end. And also, each and every one of you will be sent a link to this recording. So if you have to leave early or if you have any technical issues, don't worry. You can watch a recording of this at your own leisure whenever you like, okay? All right, with that stated, let's begin today's class. We're going to be talking about these two edges, but let me first start off with what my mentors taught me. They said, Steve, the market you're trading, doesn't matter if you're intraday trading stocks, futures, currency pairs, doesn't matter if it's going straight up or straight down, regardless of time frame or direction, but the market you're trading tells you everything you need to know. Now, this goes against and went against everything I had been taught some 4 decades ago. I thought I was supposed to listen to the guys on TV. We didn't have the internet chat rooms then or any websites, but we had, a lot of research through so-called gurus, and we had newsletters. We saw the guys on TV telling what we thought they were going to do or what the market was supposed to do. And there's a lot of fundamental news. We watched the money supply, the earnings. We watched all the same stuff. But my mentor said, listen, if you want to be a successful trader, if you want to be consistent, you have to learn how to listen to the market and not those external things, which they labeled as just simply noise. It's very difficult to do that because it went against everything I had been trained. But then I thought, what do I have to lose? Because I had been listening to those things and I wasn't making a dime. So what did I have to lose? So it took a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of courage on your part to let go of these things. But once I started to listen and learn how to listen to the market, that's when I started to become a consistent trader. So how do we listen to the market? Well, here are the 2 edges I'm going to share with you today that helps you listen to the market, okay? Here's the first one. The first edge is strategy number 4. This is the first strategy my mentors taught me. I continue to use it on a daily basis in my own personal trading. Let me give you some of the highlights of strategy number 4. It's a pattern recognition strategy. So we're looking for a pattern that repeats itself in any market. Doesn't have to be stocks, could be futures, currency pairs, even cryptos, but a pattern that repeats itself over and over and over again, has a high level of consistency. Now, it's designed for traders looking to catch momentum, but the secret is, and you'll see in a number of examples, is that it will oftentimes generate these signals prior to any momentum in the market. So it'll look as if the market's just basically going sideways or even going the opposite direction, and it will generate a signal because it is so sensitive with this pattern, it picks up that momentum is building up. And it only uses one indicator because it's based on a pattern, and that indicator is the 50-period moving average. The way we use it is if price is above the 50, well, that means we're only going to be looking for buy signals. If price is below the 50, we're only looking for sell signals. It's that simple, okay? So let's look at some older examples, once again, just to share with you the principles behind strategy number 4. Okay, we're looking at VRSM, basically going nowhere, right? Kind of in a range market, not enough to tell us what to do. But we're above the 50-period moving average. So actually, even though it may be going in a range, it's telling us that we should only be a buyer because the market eventually wants to go higher. So what we do is on our platform, click on strategy number 4, we see that a buy signal was generated. Even though the market was going sideways, it generated a buy signal telling us that momentum was about to be installed in the stock, VRSN. And look what happened. 20 points followed in the next couple of weeks to the upside. This works to the downside as well. Let's look at PINS, okay? Someone looking at this would say, hey, Steve, major support, okay? I go to that chat room and they say, you got to buy this. There's tons of support. The banks are all buying this, and you never want to go against the institutions, right? Remember, this is what I used to listen to 46 years ago, and it didn't work then, so I'm not about to start teaching my students to start looking at support and resistance, all right? What's the first thing we do is we apply the 50-period moving average. It tells us what the market wants to do, not what some outside source like the banks or institutions are doing. So if we apply the 50-period moving average, we ask ourselves, where is price in relation to the 50? It's below. So the moving average is telling us that the overall trend is down. So we're not going to buy if the market wants to go lower. And the best thing is that a strategy number 4 sell signal was generated. So what happened to the support the following couple of weeks, okay, or month? Market fell down 10 points. And if you missed that, there were a number of other signals generated along the way. Now, I know strategy number 4 is a highly consistent method. Like I said, I use it every day. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every signal is a winner. In fact, I don't care what method you trade. I don't care what webinar you go to. If someone tells you that every signal is a winner, you should probably walk away from that, because I've never known anyone or never known any trading plan or strategy or system that has 100% winners. There's always going to be some losses, okay? For example, let's look at this older example in SIX. Here was a sell signal, and it continued to go higher, the opposite direction, but another sell signal was generated. At this point, you have a loss on your hands. So most likely you would have been stopped out. And look where price is. Price is now above the 50, so we don't want to be short if price is above the 50. Now look what happened. We have 2 more buy signals. Even though they opened below on this particular bar, it closed above. So that's a valid buy signal. Same here. So look what happened after that. Okay, so you will go into a series of losses from time to time. This brings us to edge number 2, the PET-D. This is probably the most powerful tool I learned on my floor days on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange, because I was taught this valuable tool by my mentors. The PET-D is a tremendous, tremendous way to confirm whether you should take the signal or not. For example, let's look at this older chart of ATER. Obviously, someone looking at this would say, hey, Steve, we're in a downtrend, so I don't want to buy this. Maybe I even want to go short. And then look what happens. Straight up, right? How could we have known to get out, or maybe even go short, or just get out of our long position right here and know to go long right here? Well, the PET-D is a color bar tool. It is based on a proprietary pattern that we keep in-house, but the secret to the PET-D is knowing how to apply it. Now, 2 to 5 consecutive bars that have the same color will tell you what the trend is. So on our platform, all you have to do is click on PET-D. We've taken all the hard work out of it for you. You don't have to calculate it by hand the way I had to 4 decades ago. It's simply a color bar tool. And as you can see, when we had consecutive red bars here, we knew in advance when price was trading around 15 that the trend was lower. So we would have gotten out or known not to buy this. And then when we had consecutive green bars here, when the price had gone well lower, roughly about 5 or 6, we knew to get back in. So the beauty of the PET-D, as it says here, is that it tells you which direction you should be trading. And once you know that, you can confirm if your strategy is in sync with that direction. So how are we going to apply it with strategy number 4? Well, when we apply it, the combination is called the dynamic duo. So let's see what the exact rules are, okay? We're only going to trade strategy number 4 buy signals that are colored green by the PET-D. So what does this mean? Well, when you get a strategy number 4 buy signal, you'll get a green arrow on our platform, all right? The bar directly above that arrow has to be colored or outlined green. If it is not, then we're not going to take it. Why? Because a dynamic duo buy setup has a high level of consistency. So we only want to trade those low-level picking fruit trades, those ones that are really just filled with consistency. So that's what a dynamic duo buy setup is. Now, conversely, we're only going to trade strategy number 4 sell signals that are colored red by the PET-D. Why? Well, when you see a sell signal, you'll get a red bar above that particular setup bar. That bar below it, directly below it, has to be either filled in red or outlined red. We will not take the trade unless it does, because that means it has a high level of consistency. And we only want to take the dynamic duo high level setups. All right, so let's look at some examples now. Remember, this is all done. It may seem a little complicated right now, but it's all done with one click on our platform. Remember, we developed and designed this to make it simple so that everything is one click away. It's not like what I had to do some 4 decades ago and have a hand calculator and figure out everything and then go look at the chart and then figure out everything again. We've taken all that hard work out of it for you. All you need to do is click on strategy 4 and the PET-D. Let me show you what I mean. Here's an older chart in APA, okay? It's going down, then back up, then kind of sideways. Now, once we apply strategy number 4, we just click it on our platform. In the drop-down menu, we'll see all these different categories. Just click on signal arrows, and that'll tell us where the buy and sell signals are. And as you can see, we have some signals here that worked out, some didn't. We have another one that worked out, some that aren't working out. So how can we filter out the ones that aren't working out that well, and some that are actually even losses? That's where the edge number 2 comes in, the PET-D. On our platform, click on PET-D, and it automatically changes the colors. Now remember, we're only going to take sell signals that have bars below the arrow that are colored or outlined red. We're only going to take buy signals that the bar above the green arrow is colored or outlined green. That's it, okay? So let's look at this first setup here. Here was a sell, and what color is the bar directly below it? It's red. So that's a valid dynamic duo setup, and you had potentially 5 points to capture. Now remember, in the course, we teach you different exit levels and ways to get as much bang for your buck. So don't worry, but I just can't divulge that right now. It wouldn't be fair to the students who have purchased Strategy 4 around the world. Now, Here's the next signal, a sell signal, okay? And you think to yourself, wow, that one worked pretty well. I'll take the next one. But what color is the bar below this sell signal? It's green. So that's not a valid dynamic duo setup, and we're not going to take it. And that's a very wise decision because, look, we would have lost. It went straight up. Now the market is starting to head higher. So strategy 4 shifts with the market. Now it's generating buy signals. All right. So we have a buy signal here. And what color is the bar outlined directly above the green arrow? It's outlined green. So we can take that and we could have potentially captured 8 points. Okay. All right. So we've had 2 winners and one we stayed away from. Now we have a number of signals. We have a cluster of signals right here. They're all buy signals. They're all strategy 4 buy signals. Okay. But what color are the bars above the arrows? Each and every one of them is either colored or outlined red. So that means we're not going to take any of these signals. And look what happened. Some of the best trades are the ones you never take. And I'll show you an example of that at the end of today's presentation. So out of all these signals, we totally filtered out the negative ones and only kept the good ones. That's what the dynamic duo does. That's why I labeled this presentation as 2 edges that will really change the way you trade, take your trading to the next level, and help you survive in virtually any market. All right, so now you know the process. Now you know the concept behind the dynamic duo and these 2 edges. Let's look at some recent dynamic duo signals and see how you could have applied this process using our platform, okay? All right, here's the first chart. We're looking at Amazon. Not much happening here. In fact, someone would say, well, okay, we went up and we're coming back down. This could be resistance. So I'm going to wait till we break out above, okay? But if you click on strategy 4, click on signal arrow, there was a buy signal already in place. So you didn't have to wait. But remember, we want to have a higher level of consistency. So we add the dynamic duo, the second edge, meaning the PET D. Click on PET D on our platform and see what color the bar is above the buy arrow. It's green. Now the bar before it was red. Now, for all intents and purposes, all the bars before it could have been red. It makes no difference. All we're concerned about is the bar above the arrow. So this is a valid dynamic duo setup. This happened just about a month ago. And you could have made a quick 10 points in roughly about 5 days, okay? I know it's not a lot, but say you're trading options. Say you just wanted to get in and out quickly. Here's another example in Honeywell, all right? Some traders might say, hey, Steve, there's major support here. I don't want to sell. I want to be a buyer. That guy in that chat room says to buy right here, okay? Well, remember, we're not listening to an outside source anymore. We're only listening to one thing, the chart in front of us, the market we're trading. And what's it telling us? Well, we click on strategy number 4 once again. It incorporates the 50-period moving average and all the pattern, the rules within the pattern. Click on signal arrow. And a sell signal has been generated. So we're not going to buy at these levels. Now, if we want to kick up our consistency, we apply the PET D. And remember, we can only take this if the bar below it is colored red. And once we apply the PET D, it did color it red. Remember, it doesn't make any difference what the bar colors were before. Just want to make sure this bar is colored red. And look what happened. Quick 12 points coming into the first week of October, okay? All right, let's look at SGEN. Now, this is a descending wedge, a very popular pattern with technical analysis, very bullish pattern, because usually what happens is that if we break out above that wedge, we'll have a very nice run up to the upside, okay? So let's see what happened here. It actually did break out to the upside, had a nice run, but guess what? We would have missed it entirely because it gapped up. And at this point, you most likely said to yourself, I'm not going to pay up, 10 points higher or so. This is too expensive. That's most likely where you may have wanted to sell. But how could the dynamic duo process have helped us? Well, once again, a buy signal was generated well in advance of that breakout. And if we apply the PET D, we see that not only this bar above, but all the bars were colored green. So we could have potentially captured 10 points where most traders would have missed that trade because it gapped up one day, okay? This is why most traders fail, because you're listening to the market, an outside source, and you're saying to yourself, well, obviously some news came out which caused that to gap up. So you're saying, well, let me wait for the news to see what happens. And by the time the news comes out, it's too late. You're not going to pay up for it. It's already broken out. But if you listen to the market, which strategy 4 does, it's based on market behavior, you could have gotten in a lot earlier and taken advantage of the big breakout. Let's look at HELE, all right? Once again, a sideways market. Most traders would say, I'm not going to do anything here, Steve. The market doesn't know what it wants to do. You always say to listen to the market, right? Well, the market's telling me it doesn't know what it wants to do. It's just kind of going sideways. Well, it may appear to be going sideways, but look at 2 sell signals. So even though it appears to you, to most traders, that it's going sideways, the actual market is telling us it wants to go lower. And once we apply the second edge in the dynamic duo, it's telling us that they're both confirmed. Both of these bars were colored red. And look what happened. You could have potentially captured 15 points. Now, this took a little while here. The first sell signal, nothing much really happened. But if you held in there for that time, you could have taken advantage of that big drop. Let's look at ORTX, okay? Orchard Therapeutics, all right? Now, this is going back just about 3 weeks ago. This was on the, or about a month. This was on the 12th of September. The stock had been going sideways. Now, this is an inexpensive stock, just to share with you that, you know, it doesn't matter what the price is. It can be applied, strategy 4 can be applied in a dynamic duo to expensive stocks or to inexpensive stocks. And a dynamic duo buy signal was generated on the 12th of September. You could have taken that signal, and look what happened. Just in 1 month, the price of ORTX jumped over 200%, okay? Imagine if you went long Google or went long Tesla, and it jumped over 200% in just 1 month. You'd be happy, right? Well, the same thing happened here in ORTX. That was a valid dynamic duo setup. Let's look at BIIB. Sell signal validated using the dynamic duo. It's the red bar is below the red sell arrow, and 15 points coming into October. Once again, all we need is for that bar directly below the arrow to be colored red. All the bars before it were colored green, but that's okay. Here's an example on WSM. Another sideways market, but look at the buy signals. They're all colored green. We have a splash of green, we have a splash of red bars, but all we're concerned about are the color of the bars above the buy signals, and ultimately a quick 15 points to the upside. Here's an example in DXCM. All right, this was in August in the summer. A sell signal was generated. 45 points coming into this week in October here, okay? Now, you would have lost a lot of money trying to pick a bottom here. But look at all the consecutive red bars with the PET D telling you that it's going lower. And if you missed this first sell signal, guess what? You could have taken advantage of a lot more as the market went lower. Here's an example in NVIDIA, okay? Another buy signal generated. This one was in August. 65 points in roughly about 2 weeks. Let's look at ASML. All right, stock is basically doing nothing, kind of in a range, but we have a number of bars colored red. In fact, the majority of the bars are colored red, and all 4 of these sell signals are dynamic sell signals, dynamic duo sell signals. 110 points coming into October. So even though the market may appear as if it's doing nothing or in a range, strategy 4 and the dynamic duo are indicating that there is momentum building. In this case, it was to the downside. All right, so let's look at some other markets and some other time frames, because not everyone just trades daily bars of stocks. So let's look at a 4-hour chart of the Swiss franc. This was just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Same process applies. Nothing has to change just because we change markets or time frame. It's the same process. A strategy number 4 buy signal, and the bar on top of it is outlined green. And look what happened after that. Straight up 225 pips. That's roughly over $2,000 per unit you could have potentially captured. Here's a weekly chart of Bed Bath & Beyond, okay? We've all seen how terrible this stock has reacted in the last year, but look what happened in January. When the stock was trading roughly about 65, a sell signal was generated on a weekly bar. And you can see that it's a dynamic duo sell signal because it's colored red and it's gone straight down. Potentially you could have captured. I don't think you would want to short it, but let's say you were long the stock. You could have used this as an exit to get out of the stock and save yourself 62 points. Here's a weekly chart of gold, spot gold, okay? 2 buy signals are generated here. This was in March coming into the spring, and you could have potentially captured 200 basis points. And lastly, here's a daily chart of the British pound. It was going straight down this past month or so. Well, guess what? At the very top of this little bounce, a sell signal was generated. You could have potentially captured 600 pips. If you missed that, there was another sell signal generated at the beginning of October, okay? So you see, we can apply it to any market or any time frame. So let's recap what we learned today. Strategy number 4 is a highly consistent method. It's based on a pattern that repeats itself over and over again in any market, in any time frame. Okay, it's the first strategy I ever learned from my mentors, and I continue to apply on a daily basis. Now, it only comes with one indicator, and I'll share that with you because it's part of the rules. It's the 50-period moving average. If price is above the 50-period moving average, we'll only take buy signals. If price is below, we'll only take sell signals. Now, strategy number 4, in and of itself, it's an extremely consistent method, but it will generate some losses from time to time. So the way we kick up our level of consistency is by applying our second edge, which is the PET-D. The PET-D is probably the best tool I know of for determining the short-term trend. And the way we use it with strategy 4 is to confirm if we should take the signal. If strategy 4 generates a buy signal, the bar above that setup bar should be colored green. If strategy 4 generates a sell signal, the bar below that arrow should be colored or outlined red. That's it. But you will increase your level of consistency tremendously if you simply apply these two edges together. When we do apply them, the combination is called our dynamic duo, probably one of our most popular and consistent methods we have at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. And then lastly, the process is so simple to apply on our platform. The PTS Primo Charting Platform we developed to make trading simple. So out of everything you've seen today, ask yourself, do you think these two edges can help your trading for the remainder of 2023? If the answer is yes, which I think it is, we have a great attendee discount for all of you taking time out of your Wednesday today. We're going to offer you our Dynamic Duo special. You're going to get instant course access to strategy number 4 along with the PET-D. You'll get detailed instruction, and I didn't talk about it today because I didn't want to give away all the rules. It wouldn't be fair to our students around the world who have purchased strategy 4. But in the course, you'll learn all the different entries, all the different exits, and all the different stops. Now, a lot of students say, well, what do you mean all the different entries? Isn't there just one entry? Well, no, because we know that not everyone trades alike. Some traders like to have a number of trades. Well, if you want to have a number of trades, well, there are specific ways using our entry methods for that. Some like to have a number of exits where they capture as much gains as possible. Well, we have a number of exits for that. Other traders like to get in and out quickly. Well, we have a number of exit placements for that as well. Some traders like to trade with large risk. They don't mind because they want to stay in the trade. Where other traders like very minimal risk. Well, we have a number of stop placements for that. You see, we're offering you all this different education, but remember, as we stated in the opening, it's up to you to decide. Why? Because our goal is to have you take charge of your trading. Once again, it's been our experience that the only traders that are still trading are the ones that make their own trading decisions. So we offer you this smorgasbord of education and allow you to pick and choose so that you feel comfortable. You'll never be a consistent trader until you feel comfortable with your own method, instead of trading someone else's method that you paid $10,000 for. And once you get it, you realize, I can't trade this. It's too many trades, or I can't take this much risk, or it doesn't generate enough trades. I'm bored twiddling my thumbs all day long. You have to develop it on your own. So you get the entire course rules. Now, on top of this, you're going to get 4 separate PET-D trading techniques, all right? It doesn't have anything to do with strategy number 4 because PET-D is so versatile. You can transfer so many different ways of trading on it that we're going to share with you 4 different ways to trade just with the PET-D alone. Highly consistent ways to trade, okay? Now, on top of that, remember, everything you saw today was with the PTS Primo chart. So we're going to also throw in a full year of the PTS Primo Charting Platform, and that will normally cost you close to $1,800. But once again, you're going to save $1,800. We're going to throw in a full year absolutely free. This is a great, great way to become acquainted with us and our style of trading and our philosophy of education. And this is a great way to get involved in the ground floor to turn your trading around. Now, obviously, you'll get one-click access to trading strategy number 4, the PET-D directional tool. You also get scanner ability, so you'll be able to scan for all the setups on a nightly basis. You'll get auto-generated exit levels. These are exit levels, one of our exit techniques where you, with one click, you can see where all these levels are. A strength of trend tool that tells you if the trend is running out of steam or not. 90 of the most prominent technical indicators, along with personalized tech support, and a host of other techniques and tips that I've accumulated in my 46 years that you won't find anywhere else. You'll only find on the PTS Primo Charting Platform. So this is a great, great deal. You're getting a full year of this absolutely free. Now, if you're still not convinced that the dynamic duo alone can help you, let me share with you an example of how the dynamic duo actually can keep you out of trouble. Here's a signal, a strategy 4 signal that was generated just a couple of weeks ago in Cintas, CTAS, all right? It met all the qualifications, all the requirements were met for a valid strategy number 4 signal. Now, if you just had strategy 4, you could have jumped in and taken it. And there was a level of consistency to this. But remember, we want to increase our level of consistency. So what we want to do is apply the PET-D. And remember, we're only going to take this buy signal if that bar above it is colored or outlined green. So what did the PET-D tell us? Well, it told us that the bar was colored red. So this was a non-confirmation and this was a non-dynamic duo setup. So we're not going to take this. Now, had you taken this, look what would have happened. You would have lost 30 points, okay, in a couple of days. So that's the beauty of the PET-D. This just happened a couple of weeks ago. That's the beauty of the PET-D. It not only gets you into really highly consistent trades, but it will also keep you out and filter out some of these losses as well. All right, so let's break this down. The dynamic duo combo plus the 12 months of the PTS Primo charts. Now, strategy number 4 by itself usually costs close to $700, okay? If you purchased the PET-D by itself, it cost you close to $5,000. And as we said, a full year of the PTS Primo charts will cost you close to $1,800. So altogether, you're spending over $7,400, closer to $7,500. Don't worry, this is not going to be one of those sales pitches where we want you to bring in, $7,500 and don't worry, we'll take care of you. We're going to slash that tremendously, that price. We're only going to ask for a one-time payment of $497. I mean, that's tremendously low. A one-time payment of $497 and just establish a payment plan of $97 per month. That's it. Okay. Think how easy it is to get in on the ground floor and to turn your trading around. Now, we have a number of students that say, Steve, that's great, but I don't need a down payment. I'd like to pay in full. Well, if you'd like to pay in full, we're still going to slash it by $2,500 roughly, down to $4,995. And you can establish a plan for that as well. But that's a great, great price as well. You're going to get all this plus a full year. So regardless of how you go, paying in full $49.95 or paying a one-time small payment of $497 with a monthly payment of $97, you'll still get a full year of the platform. And remember, this also comes with educational correspondence. Invest in yourself. I know so many times you invest in some guy that's on TV to let him tell you what to do, or you invest in some system that you have no idea what it's based on, or you invest in some chat room and follow whatever they say. Why not try investing in yourself? Learn how to trade and make your own decisions. Take charge of your trading for the very first time and take it to the next level with the dynamic duo. Remember, once again, I use the dynamic duo every day in my own personal trading. I like to intraday trade the E-minis. I've made no qualms about it. I'm an intraday trader and I like to trade the E-minis. I use the dynamic duo every day using the exact same rules. All right, here's how to take advantage of this great offer. All right, contact my sister site, Pro Trader Strategies. I developed and designed the platform with them, and they're in charge of all my course discounts and all the payment plans and all the tech support. So I would highly recommend giving them a call at area code 310-598-6677. There's absolutely no obligation. They can give you a quote over the phone, or if you like, if you're sold already, you say, hey, I want to get in with that really low price of $497, you can get in and they can take your order over the phone, okay? Now that link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the info page. And if you like, you can actually sign up and purchase it online as well. But it's not a live link. So if you go to your chat box, you'll see that a live link was just posted on the chat box. You can click that on and it will open up a browser and take you to that page, okay? But remember, I would highly suggest giving the good people at Pro Trader Strategies a call. There's absolutely, once again, no obligation. They're there to work with you. They're very flexible, and they can give you a quote or answer any question that you may have about tech support or pricing or data, things of that nature, okay? Now, I'm going to leave this information up here on the screen. I said if there are any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them at this time. Someone's saying, you trade this on E-mini. Why didn't you show any E-mini examples? Well, that's a good question. The main reason is the bulk of all of our students and members around the world use stocks. And also, I'd say the second level is currency pair traders. So we don't have a lot of E-mini traders, but maybe that's a good suggestion. Maybe I'll do that next time, okay? Someone's asking, what if I have a question? What you say educational correspondence, what does that mean? Educational correspondence means that each and every one of my students, regardless of what strategy or package you purchase through us, each and every one of my students gets my personal email address where you can contact me whenever you like. And as I often state every week, the emails do not go to an intern. They don't go to a tech support person. They come directly to me. So I will answer them as quickly as possible. Oftentimes I answer them that same day. Oftentimes I'll answer them before the opening, after the close, or even on the weekend. So it makes no difference. If you have a question, I want to be there for you. So you have my personal email address. You can contact me whenever you'd like, okay? Someone's asking, how long does this offer go for? Well, normally they last just for a week's time, okay? I would, to be more safe about it, I would say they last up until Monday. And then after that, we start promoting a new package. And remember, all of our strategies, excuse me, all of our strategies and methods are meant to be applied for different aspects of the market. Some markets, we like to trade pullback methods. That's where you're buying at low levels. Other aspects, we like to trade continuation methods, where that's where you buy high and sell higher. So we have a number of different techniques and methods for all the different market categories. And so that's why each week we talk about a new package and a new strategy or a new method. So this will most likely last up until Monday. So what I would suggest, just my suggestion, would be to watch this video that you're all going to get a link to, and make your decision. And if you're really serious about it, contact Pro Trader Strategies after you've made up your mind. But don't sit on this for a couple of weeks, because in the past, students would watch the video, they'd wait about it for a month or so, then they'd say, okay, listen, I traded my own strategy or this other strategy for a month, I lost tons of money, I'm ready to buy the Dynamic Duo at that $497 discount. And unfortunately, it's not there anymore. So if you're really serious, I would suggest taking a few 2 or 3 days to think about it, and maybe till Monday, and then contact Pro Trader Strategies. Remember, there's no obligation to call them even with a question. They'd be happy to answer anything about pricing or give you a quote over the phone, okay? Okay, good questions. If we have no further ones, this brings us to the close. I just want to say, that Dynamic Duo is something, once again, you want to invest in yourself. It's something that it really, most traders don't. They really take the time and say, well, this guy must know what he's doing, so I'll spend thousands of dollars on this, or this guy says this never has losses. But remember, you're investing in someone else. We want you to invest in yourself with a Dynamic Duo. So contact Pro Trader Strategies at 310-598-6677. They'll be happy to answer any question and give you a quote over the phone. Now, as we take one last look at our disclaimer, I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join this presentation. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you like. Also, we are live streaming this on YouTube, so please hit the subscribe button, like this, and so we'll have a lot more education for you on YouTube if we get a lot more people subscribing, okay? Thank you so much for attending. I wish you all the best of luck, and I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the Dynamic Duo course. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.